If you're not using Amazon ads yet, you're missing out on sales and missing eyes on your shop. Every single day, buyers are searching for products just like yours. And if your listings aren't showing up at the top of those results, your competitors are getting the clicks and buys instead of you. Today, we're gonna break down exactly how Amazon ads works, especially for handmade sellers, what you need to have in place before you start them and turn them on, and how to start your very first campaign without wasting your money. If you're not selling handmade and you stumbled upon this video, this will also work for you as well. And it's some tips and tricks to keep in mind when you get your ads started. Here's the thing that most handmade sellers don't realize. Organic visibility is getting harder and harder to come by. Amazon is a search engine first and a marketplace second. And ads are how you get your products to the top of those search results. You really don't need a huge budget to get started. You definitely don't need to be a PPC or pay-per-click expert, but you do need to understand some basics so that you're not just throwing money away on ads and not getting any return. For handmade sellers, the main type of ad that you have access to is called sponsored products. These are the pay-per-click ads, and that means you only pay for the ad when someone clicks on it, not just when it's shown. Your products show up in two main places. They show up in the search results mixed in with the organic listings. If you've ever shopped on Amazon, you've seen these when you search that they'll say sponsored. If you look really closely, they could also show up on other product detail pages as a related product or a sponsored product. Think of this as you're renting space to show up in the search results. Think of it like you're renting a spot in the front of the store instead of waiting for someone to wander to the back. This is the part that most people skip, and it is the most important. Running ads is like paying for a billboard for a store when the lights are actually off. Before you spend a single dollar on ads, there's a few things you want to be sure of. Your titles and your bullet points are written for both keywords and humans. Your photos are high quality and show your product from multiple angles. Your pricing is competitive for your category, and your back-end search terms are filled in. If any of that is shaky, you need to fix those and fill them in first. Ads can absolutely accelerate your sales, but they accelerate what is already there, good or bad. When you set up your first campaign, you're gonna select between two types of targeting. First, you have automatic targeting. This is where Amazon helps you and targets certain keywords without you telling them how to do it. They decide where you show up based on your listing content. This is the easiest way to start because Amazon does all the hard work for you. Then you also have manual targeting, and this is where you specify the keywords and search terms that you want to show up for. This gives you more control over where your products show up. This works best when you've already run an auto campaign and you have an idea of where your products show up. So your very first campaign, you definitely want to start with automatic targeting. And you can start with a modest budget. $5 or $10 works pretty well for a daily budget. You're gonna let it run for a couple of weeks, and then once you get some data, you can pull a report and see where you're getting your sales. Once you get those search terms and you determine where your sales are coming in, then you can set up a manual targeting campaign, and you can target those certain keywords, and you can also negative target keywords so that you don't show up for those. One thing to keep in mind is when you negative target, you're gonna pick phrases that you may be getting clicks on and absolutely zero sales. So if I'm gonna sell my gym stickers, but for some reason my gym stickers are showing up under animal stickers and people are clicking on it, but they're never purchasing because it's not something they're looking for, that's when I wanna negative target animal stickers in my keywords. And that's where you'll waste most of your money, is when someone is clicking and never buying. One thing that's quick and simple that I want to go through is how to get to your reports, because like I said, you're going to need to pull these reports and set these up to pull weekly so that you can review all the keywords and you can set up your manual targeting to really hone in on where your sales are coming from. So you're gonna go to advertising, campaign manager, and then under campaign manager, there is a reports section. You're gonna wanna set up a weekly report that will automatically email to you every week. You can pick whatever day you want the report to send, whatever time you want it to send, and it will automatically send you reports on your campaigns. Once you're in the reports tab, you're gonna click create report. You're gonna have a couple of options. You're gonna wanna do a search term report so that you can see which terms your products are showing up under. This is definitely the most useful report when you're first starting out, especially with ads, and it will also help you determine what to put in your listings. You can do a one-time pull, but I highly recommend setting it up for a weekly pull so that it gives you a reminder, because it's gonna email you to review these search terms every week and update your listings based on that. This becomes a quick 10 to 15 minute habit to go through, especially if you only have one campaign, to see what is making sales and what's not. While we're here talking about the report, let's talk about some of the terms that you may see. One of those is ROAS, ROAS. That's gonna stand for return on ad spend. And this is a very useful term in the Amazon report space because this is how you're gonna know how well your ads are doing. This is simply gonna tell you how many sales you get per your ad spend. So if you spent $50 on ads, but you got $200 in sales, your ROAS is 4. That means that for every dollar you spent in your budget, you got $4 back in sales. A higher ROAS means that your advertising dollars are working harder for you. Sometimes you may see ACOS, ACOS instead of ROAS, and that's just another way to say the same thing. It's the same idea, it's just a percentage instead of a hard number. So don't let the lettering and the acronyms throw you off. They're telling you the same thing, just from a different angle. So a couple of things I see sellers do when they start making ads and trying to make sales with ads, and some of the ways that they kind of waste their advertising dollars and maybe profit. One, they set the budget so low that it hardly gets any impressions, and they think that ads are just a waste of time and that they don't work. Two, they never pull that weekly search term report, so they keep paying for clicks on irrelevant search terms. Three, they turn on the ads, they walk away for months without ever checking on the performance. So this is kind of similar to not pulling the weekly report, but if you don't pull the report and you don't look at your search terms and you just leave it running, then you could be wasting thousands of dollars. And four, they run ads on products with unclear photos, incomplete listing information, and no back-end search terms. And then they wonder why their listing's not converting to sales. The fix for all of these is to start small, check in on the ads weekly, and let your data guide you as to what to do next with your ad spend. So to recap, Amazon ads can definitely help you accelerate your sales. It can get more eyes on your shop and more money in your pocket, but only once your foundations are solid. You're gonna start with sponsored products, you're gonna start with automatic targeting, and you're gonna let that guide you into those weekly reports so you know which way to go when you start to manually target certain keywords. And if you want to make sure your shop is ready for ads, you can book an audit with me today and we can make sure that all of your foundations are set up and ready to go and ready to start on your ads. Because I don't want you to spend a single dollar on ads until your listings are ready. The link is down in the description below and pinned in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.